All right, it's November 6th, 2020, talking all things NFL. Let's start with the biggest game of the weekend. It's Sunday Night Football. Tampa Bay Bucks hosting the New Orleans Saints. It's a Tom Brady revenge game after week one. Let's start with you, Seth. What are you expecting from this game, Saints and Bucks, the rematch?
You know, I thought the Bucks played much better than the Saints did. Even in the week one loss, the Saints were benefited from the Tom Brady pick six. Seems to have corrected that type of stuff, though he did throw a similar pick six a few weeks later. Saints benefited from major field position advantage in that game. Breeze did not look great. He has looked better, taking away the windy game last week in Chicago. They will get Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders back. But this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team has looked fantastic the past few weeks. Tom Brady is playing at an absolute elite level. I'm excited for the game. I think that Breeze being better than he was in week one, even though, like I said, they scored a lot of points, that was benefit of field position, is going to go a long way. Now, if the shoulder doesn't hold up, we got a problem here. Because if Breeze plays like he did against, missing some open targets like he did against the Raiders, like he did a little bit against the Packers, like he certainly did against the Bucs week one, we're going to have a problem even if Michael Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders is there. It's going to be a good game if Breeze is healthy. If not, maybe we'll see Jameis. I don't know.
Bucks rolling? Maybe the Bucks rolling on Sunday night.
Yeah,
what do you think, Treash?
Yeah, I think Seth's a little bit more optimistic than I am about this game. I think the Bucks are going to steamroll the New Orleans Saints for the same reasons he said to start. I mean, the Bucks played better in week one. Tom Brady is producing at an MVP level. Drew Brees has been a little inconsistent. He started off, the season not so great, kind of had a good stretch there and then kind of faltered again last week. I mean, Tom Brady has 2.5 times more big-time throws than Drew Brees. Drew Brees has 2.5 times more turnover-worthy throws or turnover-worthy plays than Tom Brady. I'm going with Tom Brady in that elite offense and that defense that is also better. And they're also getting AB back. We're not sure how much we're going to see him, but there's just no way I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers losing this game, and I think they're going to blow them out.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I really like the way the Bucks are looking right now, and part of it is because, yes, Antonio Brown should have Chris Godwin back. We'll see what happens, but when that offense hasn't really been healthy the entire season either, and Brady's still doing a really good job of spreading the ball around, and I think they finally started to find that balance between Bruce Arians, stand back there and chuck it, versus getting the ball out of your hands quickly like Brady likes to do. Brady's the least pressured quarterback in the league. That's unheard of for a Bruce Arians quarterback. He is completely evolving that system. And then you look at that Bucs defense. There's no such thing as a good defense in the NFL, but there are defenses that make life difficult for opposing offenses, and that's the Bucs. Between their pass rush, their blitz schemes, their corners' ability to play on the outside. So I think they're going to challenge Breeze and say, look, chuck it down the field. Come on, Drew. They're going to dare him and see if he can do it, and he hasn't shown it this year. And he's only played that one outdoor game, Seth, and he had a 49 grade last week. He's a dome quarterback at this point in his career. I think it's going to be a rough one for the Saints. All right, let's talking about quarterbacks in some average arms, perhaps. Tua Tagovailoa last week didn't have a lot of opportunities, didn't need to. They won. The Miami Dolphins won because of defense and special teams, but Tua did not look great in his first starts. What are we looking for in his second start with the Dolphins?
Well, I'd just like to see him, so you said not a lot of opportunities. Only when you take away screens, play actions, RPOs, only 14, and rollouts, only 14 straight dropbacks. That was basically, bottom 3 in the league for last week. So what can he do? And like I said, they won the game. It had nothing to do with the quarterback play. What can he do when he's forced to do that type of stuff? And now the Rams are probably not a great example because the Rams are going to force you to check down. They're going to play off. They're going to play a lot of too high coverage. It's going to force you to check the ball down. And that's kind of what happened. You saw a lot of throws to the flat, especially off that boot action. Some nice throws outside, I felt, was one little out route to Mike Gesicki, another one down the field to the sideline. Show me something over the middle. Show me making reads over the middle of the field, and then we can get a clear picture of what Tua is. I think, that his first game last week is kind of a wash. They didn't show him out to the league. Like, we don't know anything about Tua right now. It's a pass for me, and then I want to, from last week, I want to see him have to do it. But with that said, look, if they're in a game where they're winning, where the same thing happens, like happened last week against the Rams, then maybe we'll never get to see Tua. But that's kind of where I'm at, like right now. Let me see him play the quarterback position. We haven't seen it yet after 1 week.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, Seth. I mean, that was one of the most lethargic first career wins I've ever seen in my short life here. I mean, like you said, the defense, special teams set everything up for him, those last 3 scores. And I mean, there wasn't a whole lot there we saw from Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, he had more negatively graded throws than positively graded ones. Just really was not all that great of a game. And I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. It was his first game back from that, gruesome injury that we weren't even sure how that would impact his entire career. And then Aaron Donald, who might end up being one of the best defensive players. I mean, he already is one of the best defensive players in NFL history on the other side of the ball, that put the fear of God in him a few different times. So I know the Cardinals defense, they are a little bit better than I think the public is giving them. But I still think we're going to see a better and improved Tua. And I'm right there with you, Seth, kind of show that he is an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I want to see Tua and just how he handles, every single drop back. When you see rookies, sometimes you see them immediately and they just look comfortable, and other times they look like rookies and they feel rushed. I thought Tua just felt rushed, even against a Rams defense, as you said, Seth, that's going to, give you the underneath stuff. It just looked like the game was a little too fast for him. I want to see it when that slows down for Tua. I was joking about his arm earlier. It was just one of my concerns coming out of Alabama. I think he's a great see it and throw it type of passer. He sees the guy open and he can put it where he wants, but throwing a little bit quicker with anticipation and having a little bit more zip on the ball was always my concern with Tua, because I don't think he has a cannon for an arm, and if you don't, you got to be quick. You have to get rid of the ball a split second quicker, much like Joe Burrow has to do with the Bengals. So I want to see Tua in his processing. How quickly is he going to go through his reads and distribute the football this weekend? All right, let's go to the NFC North. Green Bay Packers, huge win on Thursday night against the San Francisco 49ers, the depleted 49ers team. Packers moved to 6-2. Seth, are they the favorite in the NFC North, or do the Chicago Bears still have a shot?
I'm going to go back to my MVP pick at the beginning of the season, Kirk Cousins. I think the Minnesota Vikings will come back and win. I don't think it's
delete your takes immediately.
Yeah. I'm going to have to delete the entire PFF database of takes so no one can find my stuff. Anyways, they have the better quarterback, Packers, by far, no matter who plays quarterback for the Chicago Bears. And, there's some pieces there, obviously, in Chicago, just as, there is some pieces in Green Bay. I don't think they're a complete team in terms of high-end talent. Obviously, last night, beating the 49ers doesn't mean anything. That was like beating a 1AA team. But, so, yeah, it's like, well, who if you're going to pick between two teams, you go with the quarterback, and by far Aaron Rodgers is the better quarterback than whether it's Foles or Trubisky or whoever else might play quarterback for them. I don't even think it's close. I'm not sold on a lot of what they have there in Green Bay, especially on defense. Not a huge fan of what they're doing on defense. So they do have top end talent there, but if you just can't pick Foles or Trubisky right now. You can't do it.
Yeah, Seth, I disagreed with you on the first one with the Saints and the Bucs, but I'm going to have to strongly agree with you. I don't think, if you're not a Chicago Bears fan...
Are you saying Kirk Cousins is going to win the MVP? Is that you're agreeing with that part, right?
That's what he's agreeing with.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm agreeing with. But I really don't think, if you're not a Chicago Bears fan, I don't think there's anyone out there that thinks the Bears are going to beat the Packers in this divisional race because of the quarterback situation, like you said. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that is an MVP candidate alongside Tom Brady and Russell Wilson, and then you have one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL where they're probably going to have to replace next season. So I think there's a pretty stark difference there at the quarterback position, as we saw with Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers. That's an easy top 3 quarterback wide receiver connection in the NFL. That first back shoulder go, to start off the game, put points on the board for Green Bay last night, and then a little stop and go that got Jason Verrett from Davante Adams later on in the game. It was just a flawless game from them, and we've seen that before from them this season. Nick Foles, Allen Robinson clearly do not have that connection. Allen Robinson hasn't had that for his entire career. So I think the Packers are going to end up winning this division. I'm not even sure if the Chicago Bears are going to make the playoffs at this point, given the instability at that quarterback position.
Yeah, they were a pretty bad 5-1 team a couple weeks ago, and I think they've started to regress. That's the Bears. Packers the clear favorite in the NFC North for the reasons you guys stated. Aaron Rodgers, one of the 3 quarterbacks in the NFL with a 90-plus grade, along with Russell Wilson and Tom Brady. Devontae Adams, the best wide receiver in the NFL. Their connection is incredible. And then I just got to hand it to Matt LaFleur and the entire offense, because Aaron Rodgers was there last year as well, but this year 2, those guys working together. They haven't had the best personnel. They didn't make a ton of personnel moves this offseason as far as playmakers go, but they're piecing it together. Aaron Rodgers is hitting cover 2 shots to running backs when he needs to, right? So they are figuring out how to manufacture offense in a way that they didn't last year, their first year.
Thanks for watching the PFF YouTube channel. And if you want to subscribe, all you have to do is push the button. Don't forget everything you get. A little fantasy, push the button. A little green line for the gambling aspects of the game, push the button. College football, push the button. The YouTube channel from PFF.